Hey, I recently completed the book Crime and Punishment by Fyodor Dostoevsky. It's a big name book that everybody praises about being the best book written. Um, but that's on one hand of people, and on the other hand of people, there's people who hate it with intensity, and both of them are not unreasonable, and both of them are not completely wrong either. So, um, yeah, let's go over them. Um, First thing, I'll speak about what my experience was with this book. I read it in about 1.5 months, and I gotta be honest, I got bored of it in like 200 something pages, and I read uh, two books in the midst of completing this book, and now I finally completed it. And I'll tell you why I got bored is that it's just the way it was written. It's just very slow paced for one thing, and second thing is that a lot of the things which happen in there is just internal monologue or conversations which have a meaning on their own as a whole, but they go on and on and on. They you almost feel like you want to sleep when you read those, and they are never ending almost. It's a pretty long book, and that goes on and on and on, and it definitely was a slog to read. And I when I was at like 370 something pages and nothing was happening, I was like, I really wanted to just quit. Okay, I don't know why I asked myself why I'm keeping myself through all of this. What is the meaning of it? If I don't enjoy it, I should put it down, right? But I wanted to know what this was all about, why people talk about it till now, and yeah, that's why I kept on with it. And for one thing, it was an experience. Okay, it was definitely boring. It is definitely not an entertaining sort of book. You don't want to read it because you want to have fun or whatever. You do have fun. I mean, there are a lot of places where it is cool. Um, I can name a few things, which is the murder itself, and uh, Alina Ivanovna's descent to madness, Sonia and Raskolnikov's, uh, you know, romance, love, whatever. It's a bit complicated, but that's yeah, that's one thing. The side characters are pretty cool. Peter Petrovich, you know, being on the tail of Raskolnikov, and Raskolnikov being going into a guilt hell, and Raskolnikov. I mean, Raskolnikov it's himself is a good character. Like you, like his inner monologues, his psychological theories or whatever he speaks of, his feelings, which Dostoevsky wrote very clearly, so that we as readers understand it thoroughly. That that thing. There is a lot of things which I really liked about this book. And the other another thing is the ending, which was Raskolnikov finally repenting and finally coming in terms to what he did, and falling in love with Sonia, rebuilding himself, repenting for his crimes. That was one thing. That was great. There is a lot, and I can name a few more things if I keep thinking. It's a really good book which has its moments, but the thing is that um, it has very boring prose. It is written in such a way that I'll just go to sleep if I read it. Okay, you have to have genuine interest in this sort of thing so that you want to, if you want to complete it, or and if you're not into this sort of stuff, into this dense literature, then you should rather keep away from it. It's not for everybody, that's for sure. um, it is more of an intellectual sort of experience. It felt like that for me. It is sort of worth it if you're into it. And people do um, blame the the translation, which was done by Penguin. I have the same copy, I think. Um, I'm not sure if the translation has to do with that, by. I don't know about that. I'm not a translation expert, and I didn't feel that way myself. I think it's just the way the book was written and who it was written for, which made it repulsive for a huge chunk of people. And the other thing which puts people off and then raises the expectation of Dostoevsky's novel Crime and Punishment is that people perform liking this book for some reason. I mean, I like it. I like this book for its reasons, but I wouldn't preach about it. I wouldn't, you know, boast myself that I liked it, and I wouldn't really recommend it to everybody normally. But it's just the fact that people, I personally have seen there was a trend in Instagram. I think back last year or something. It was all of these reels about Franz Kafka and Dostoevsky being existentialists or whatever, and people did hype them up too much. If I had gotten this book when that trend was going on, I would have thought this was a fast-paced thriller or something. Okay, it's just that people. I mean, I'm not blaming or accusing a lot of the people that like this book, but there are a chunk of people who perform liking this book. They like the books so that they want to say that they like the book, and I don't think that's very nice. It raises expectations for people who are getting into it and gives a false idea, as I just stated. But for me, I believe it is a good book. It was a it was definitely an experience. I read through it for like what 40-50 days. I could have read like 3 or 4 books in that time, but I chose to read this, and yeah, it is a good book for me. And it definitely was not entertaining to read. Okay, it was not an entertaining book. It was more like, you know, I don't know what to say. As I just stated, it was like a intellectual experience, whatever. So yeah, I'm not sure what I should rate this book. I'll probably give it a 7 out of 10, and I think I'll keep off of literature, the genre literature. I would rather read like I'm getting into philosophy. I've bought like 2 books which are about to arrive. I'll probably read those, and if I like those, I'll keep you posted. And also, I have read another book in the midst of all of this. It was before I read this book. It was right after the day I completed the drawing of the three, which I had made a review about. It was Tao Te Ching, and I genuinely despised that book, and I had nothing but complaints about it, so I didn't make a video on it. But maybe I'll reread it one day and maybe come into terms to it. I really hated that book. Anyways, that's about all I wanted to say. Yeah. Bye.